Welcome to Leadership Labs. I'm Louise and Maurice, leadership mentor and founder of the Academy for Holistic Leadership. We are continuing with my Get Results Confidence Coaching Framework. When you hear me say client, I want you to imagine the person or group of people you lead and apply the training to your real-world leadership situations. Let's continue. Lab 2 gives you the structured preparation, processes, and insight leaders rely on to create meaningful, real-world impact. All the resources I mention in this professional training are free and linked in the description below. Let's get started. As we are moving through this program, it is the Get Results Confidence Coaching Program. And Get Results is an acronym, and each letter stands for something, and it's connected to what the session focus is about. Well, we are on the first S of the Get Results program, and the first S stands for shine. And we're going to shine confidence as opposed to shining doubt about ourselves. And I use the word shine because when people have an inner belief about themselves, it shines through. Belief dictates the actions, the inactions that they take toward their goals, toward anything that they want to do. And if they are shining disbelief of any kind, if they are shining not good enough, if they are shining no one likes me, all of these core beliefs that people have that defeat them, then they are not going to behave in confident ways. So that's why we want to shine confidence. We want to focus on that. But yeah, we understand that culture, the values, attitudes, standards, and beliefs are really programmed into children at a very young age, and they start to understand a bit more about themselves. But it's only the beliefs about the people around them that are being projected onto them. They're just absorbing it and understanding about themselves. And that's why generation after generation after generation still have the same core beliefs until someone stops it. And this is where you have that opportunity to do that for your clients. Now, in preparing your clients, you're going to send them the PDF document. Again, I have done that for you, and you find that underneath course content. Attached to this lecture, you see the resources file folder. By now, you are familiar where to find the resources, so I won't remind you. But this is where, when they have an opportunity to look at the image and give their thoughts and their feelings about that image, it helps them to prepare for the session, as well as the URL. They'll have an opportunity to go to the resource and just get familiar with it. Because in the next lecture, we're going to talk about step number 1. And step number 1 of session number 6 is the beginning of the session. And the session's only 40 minutes long, so your preparation as well as your client's preparation is key. And part of your preparation is pulling forward your notes from session number 5 and just getting familiar with this client and exactly what they talked about, if there was any stumbling blocks or anything that you want to pull forward. Because if your client doesn't, you want to make sure that you make the connection. All right, that is your preparation, your client's preparation. Let us move on in the next lecture, step number 1. Let's continue. Step number 1 is important because it's 5 minutes. And again, the phrasing to start session number 6 is found on that PDF document. But in this lecture, I just want to share with you some insight because it's important for you as the coach to be aware of your client. And if you're Skyping them or you're on a Zoom call with them, whatever modality you use to connect with them, you have to be aware of their language, any pauses when they are talking, and being able to pull forward what was discussed and what they learned in session number 5 is important. Now, the 3-part method that we use to start the session is my now, next, and new 3-part method. Now, how do you feel right now about what you learned in session number 5? What are your thoughts right now? Because session number 5 was about the events, those trigger situations, and it really does bring up a lot for people. So there's been a week between session number 5 and session number 6, and in that week they would have had an opportunity to go and apply what they learned. Do they have any questions? What are their thoughts? What are their feelings? And this really helps you to make that connection between session 5 and session 6, but also for your client. And it helps them to be honest and share their thoughts and their feelings, because sometimes people won't do it on their own. Even though you ended session number 5 with that information, they might not do that. So this is where you as that coach do it. Over the next 40 minutes, that's where the next, now next, over the next 40 minutes, we're going to talk about new information, a new approach. This is what you're going to learn. And then you ask them that PDF, the email that I sent you, did you have a chance to look at it? By now, your clients are very familiar with the process, the preparation that they go through. And this is where you as the coach, if they are not reviewing the material that you sent them, it's an opportunity for you to ask, hey, what's going on? Is there something that you want to talk about? Just to help them to open up. Because if they are sabotaging themselves, that is linked to, again, that inner belief, that core belief that they're not good enough, that they don't deserve to be successful, that they put roadblocks in their way, and not preparing is one of them. So that's just something that I want you to be aware of. All right, as we move on, we're going to look at step number 2, which is the coaching process and the questions that you ask them. Let's continue. Step number 2 of the session is the coaching process, and the shine process begins with questions. If you're going to help your client shine some light on what they believe to be true about confidence and what they were taught about confidence from their upbringing, it's important. And you never want to tell a client anything, even though you have observed as that coach, non-judgmental observer. Even though you've observed, you're still not going to tell them what you observed. The whole purpose of you guiding them is to bring to their awareness, to shine that light, so that they can make adjustments to the beliefs that they have. Because sometimes it might not be the belief, but it's the interpretation of the belief that they have. Now, your phrasing when you start this session, this step in session 6, as I ask you these questions, share the first response that comes to mind. And you also want them to know that this was the image that you shared with them in the PDF document. So they're already familiar with that. But this is where culture, our upbringing, and our family, and the caregivers, and whatever the family environment was like, values got passed along. Attitudes got passed along, especially with regards to confidence. And children are just excited a lot of times when they accomplish something, when they are excited about what they've accomplished, and be it at school or extracurricular activity, and they're excited and they bring that excitement home, how is that managed? Do the caregivers, parents, whatever the term that they identify with, did they get celebrated or did they get squashed? Did that show of confidence, was it approved of or disapproved of? And children, again, the brain is amazing. They absorb that. And all of a sudden, ooh, survival, I'm not being approved of by acting confident. Or I am being approved of. Okay, it's safe. It's safe to be confident. Oh, it's not safe to be confident. And these standards, these standards are set, and they're set very, very early on. So all of a sudden, your client has formed beliefs about being confident. And this is where the questions will guide them to determine these sets of standards that they were given and how their beliefs and the blocks that are in their way, how they were formed. And some of those blocks and obstacles are huge depending on the formation and how it was either confirmed or not confirmed, approved or disapproved. This is a real aha moment for a lot of people. And that's where you as the coach, you are that conduit. You guide clients, and just by these questions, allow them to shine some light on those beliefs. All right, in the next lecture, we're going to look at step number 3, which is the procedure, the neuro-linguistic programming procedure. And this will really help them to shed some light on it so that, yes, they can get and create that mind movie. Let's look at that next. Thank you for completing this Confidence Coaching Leadership Lab. Every skill you practice here strengthens your ability to lead with clarity, confidence, and grounded presence in real-world situations. If you'd like to continue developing your human-centered leadership and coaching skills, you'll find additional resources, leadership labs, and professional training. Links in the description below. I appreciate you being here and investing in your growth as a leader.